Puff the Magic Dragon come up many times. Now I know for sure that it's just a song about, I'd say like a childhood loss of imagination, a loss of childhood innocence maybe, more than smoking a joint or two. Folk music is one of the most interesting genres I've run into running this channel. Coming from a hip-hop point of view, I'm always interested in the lyrics, and the lyricism that's found in folk music is top tier. It's got great social commentary, great poetry, and I was looking for the best folk songs around, and this is where Puff the Magic Dragon comes in from my Google search. Now, I know there's some legends attached to the meaning of the song. Is it actually a reference to weed usage? Well, I've got a little bit of research and context about the track. It was actually written by a dude called Leonard Lipton. The song is then converted by Peter Yarrow, but Lipton was inspired by Ogden Nash and a poem of his called The Tale of the Custard Dragon, about a dragon called Puff and his playmate Jackie Paper. So let's have a look at these lyrics and this music and see which fits more. Does this actual tale coincide with the music, or are people sort of right about their conspiracy that is more so to do with drug usage? So here we go. Puff the Magic Dragon by Peter, Paul and Mary.
The magic dragon lived by the sea and frolicked in the autumn mist in a land called Honolulu. Little Jackie Paper loved that rascal Puff and brought him strings and sealing wax and other fancy stuff. Oh.
Okay, I guess I was laughing because I was expecting something totally different. The fact that this was turned into a legend of smoking weed is kind of a stretch to me. It sounds like a children's song, but obviously the reference is there. I mean, Puff is probably the biggest kind of indicator towards it. So I guess people's idea, or maybe the idea of it, would be that to hide drug use in this time, you'd need to be a little bit secretive. So to shroud it in sort of this sweet, imaginative children's song would be the best way to hide it. I'm not too sure.
Puff the magic dragon lived by the sea and frolicked in the autumn mist in a land called Honolulu. Puff the magic dragon lived by the sea and frolicked in the autumn mist in a land called Honolulu. Together they would travel on a boat with billowed sail. Jackie kept a lookout perched on Puff's gigantic tail.
Okay, I'm looking for more indications towards maybe the double meaning, and there are not many if you ask me. It's literally just the idea of Puff the Magic Dragon. I guess you can interpret the lyrics to be a sort of psychedelic state of imagining an actual dragon. Other than that, I mean, the actual track and the music, I don't really love this style. It's very simplistic, I would say, with a sort of acoustic guitar going on, and then I guess the three vocalists singing the different parts together. Musically, it's not my cup of tea, I'd say, but let's continue to see if this sort of rumor works.
Noble kings and princes would bow whene'er they came. Pirate ships would lower their flags when Puff roared out his name. Oh, Puff the magic dragon lived by the sea and frolicked in the autumn mist in a land called Honolulu. Puff the magic dragon lived by the sea and frolicked in the autumn mist in a land called Honolulu. A dragon lives forever, but not so little boys. Painted wings and giant's rings make way for other toys. One gray night it happened, Jackie Paper came no more, and Puff, that mighty dragon, he ceased his fearless roar.
Okay, it seems more of like a parable about sort of life and death and maybe friendship. And this, the way that they've done it is through this sort of immortal being who has this friend who's this boy, and they meet each other in this land called Honolulu. I'm not too sure where that is, or maybe it's a made up place. And there's sort of imagery sprinkled throughout about sort of youthful imagination. Maybe it's a song alluding to that. The dying nature of youth is what I'm kind of taking away with it, because maybe the kid didn't actually die, he just grew up, and so his dragon friend of his sort of lives and exists in this world that is no longer there. I think that's probably closer a meaning than this idea of smoking a ton of weed.
His head was bent in sorrow, green scales fell like rain. Puff no longer went to play along the cherry lane. Without his lifelong friend, Puff could not be brave. So Puff, that mighty dragon, sadly slipped into his cave. Oh, Puff, the magic dragon, lived by the sea and frolicked in the autumn mist in a land called Honolulu. Puff, the magic dragon, lived by the sea and frolicked in the autumn mist in a land called Honolulu.
Okay, interesting track. I got two parts to my thoughts on this song. Firstly, let's start with the actual music of the song. It's not really my cup of tea. I don't really enjoy songs like this. I like bass lines and sort of heavy drums, as you can imagine, coming from a hip-hop point of view. Not that I'm not open to other things. Certainly that's happened throughout listening to different music on the course of this channel. It's not always the case. I try and keep an open mind and try and respect the song for what it is. I don't always need it to be that. There's folk songs that definitely have spoken to me in a different way, particularly Bob Dylan songs. This just wasn't for me. It's not my cup of tea. Regardless, the actual meaning of the song, I think, is probably a tale about youth kind of eventually dying. I think that's what it's trying to get at, because any kind of allusions to smoking weed or whatever that I sort of was looking up on the different forums before this, it's baseless, man. There's very little evidence apart from the fact that the dragon is called Puff, and it's kind of an imaginative tale. I took it as a sort of parable, a sad tale of this kid maybe losing his youth, and the imagery for pirate ships and this beautiful place that they met each other, the kid and the dragon, sort of moving away from that essentially, and frolicked in the autumn mist in a land called Honolulu. Great imagery used throughout this thing, and that's the strength of folk music for me, man. It's because it's so based upon the lyrics, they tend to shine, I found, at least. Regardless, cool track in terms of understanding the folklore behind this thing. I've heard Puff the Magic Dragon come up many times now. I know for sure that it's just a song about I'd say like a childhood loss, or loss of imagination, a loss of childhood innocence, maybe more than smoking a joint or two. Regardless, thanks for watching.